Hey, is your neck okay?
Yeah, it's moving.
Oh,
It's cracking.
yeah.
Yeah.
Just
How are you,
age.
Tom?
Tired.
Tired? You wouldn't be so tired if the Bills didn't draft Keon Coleman, who Brandon Beane did not want to draft, by the way, Tom.
A bad call.
It's a bad call. I hate to say it. The Bills might be screwed, guys. Bills might be screwed.
Oh, baby. We here.
We steer.
You in the right direction.
Whoa.
Welcome to another episode of the Grossi Perna Show. I'm Tom Grossi. That's Brandon Perna. This is G. P. S. Nailed it.
Wow. A lot is happening in the NFL world right now.
There's a lot happening. Championship
week. We've got some big games this Sunday, and that would give us plenty to talk about. There's always coaching vacancies being filled at this time of the year. Rarely is it 10. We're in the process of watching those roles be filled. Mike McDaniel might be going to the Chargers, is probably going to the Chargers, is 99.9% going to the Chargers, unless one of those head coaching jobs. I think the Ravens, unless they offer him the job, he's going to the Chargers.
Yeah, offense coordinator.
The Bills are starting to schedule their interviews. Packers lose Jeff Hafley. There's all this stuff, but right now there's a press conference going, or has recently concluded. I don't know if it's still going, but you got Brandon Beane, the general manager and president of football, whatever the fuck.
Got promoted,
helping run the press conference with Bills owner Terry Pegula. And I think most people had a sneaking suspicion this press conference might be a little batty, a little wild. But it's going worse than you would like to see as a Bills fan. You've got a team owner who is demonstrating incompetence by shucking blame.
A little bit.
Interrupting his GM to point out that the interception was a bad call. And then just absolutely throwing one of his players under the bus for no reason.
We're still under contract, by the way.
Yes, you can believe that maybe you didn't get the draft pick right with Keon Coleman.
Yeah,
but to just go out of your way to say the coaching staff wanted Keon Coleman, not Brandon Beane, and then minutes later, people got receipts and they're tweeting out videos of Brandon Beane from the NFL Combine saying he's happy Keon Coleman ran a slow 40 time there because they'll be able to get him. And Keon Coleman's just got to be sitting there going like, what the fuck?
So can we pull up some of those clips?
Yes.
Because us describing it is one thing, but we are not exaggerating in any way, shape, or form. There's some horrendous clips that are coming out of this press conference. And we talked about this on Monday. And Perna, if I'm not mistaken, I think you just put out a video right about this too, about McDermott being fired and all that. So of course, Sean McDermott, he gets fired, right? And it was okay, there's some Bills fans who will look at this and go, oh, we've kind of been talking about this for a bit, trying to get over that playoff hump. But then it comes with, and it's paired with the Brandon Beane, not only lack of firing, but promotion. And then that begs the question, well, who designed the roster that Sean McDermott had to coach? And I think everybody and their mother will agree that this was a lesser iteration of the Bills than we have seen in previous years, especially in the playoffs. And the fact that they still almost made it to the AFC Championship game, while you're obviously disappointed there was no Patrick Mahomes, there was no Lamar Jackson to go through, it is very heartbreaking still. But it's okay, well, now they got to go find a new head coach, and we'll see how this works. And I don't know if Beane is the guy. And it's just Beane and Pegula who are just sitting there. And it's a dumpster fire, man. Like it is.
Yeah.
It's rough.
I think, I don't think I've had my perception change as someone so much in like a 48-hour span that I've had with Brandon Beane.
I mean, I told you.
Well, yeah, sure.
Bills fans for telling you.
Well, I mean, but the thing that he's mostly criticized for is missing on recent draft picks.
Sure.
And
it was bad.
That's fine. That happens, right? Like we all know the draft is difficult and very nuanced. And it's those picks and then their patchwork free agent acquisitions, right? All the way back to like last year to like Amari Cooper not working out when they know they need threats there. And there's so much noise when things go wrong that as somebody who tries to talk about football and have an opinion on things and tries to be educated and you pay attention to the fan bases because they typically do know, even like you try to take their unreasonable takes and then go, okay, the temperature is feverish. Let's dial that back down to normal. And this is probably the accurate perception. And I think there's a difference between being a GM who just makes some wrong personnel decisions, but you're trying to win.
Sure.
And he did draft Josh Allen, and there have been pieces there. There's a good offensive line.
Brandon Cook's coming in. He was a great addition late in the season.
So I just thought like he's getting criticized for misses. But then, I think Sam Monson is one of them who started revealing about Brandon Beane. They asked, didn't he call PFF and tell you guys to adjust some of the player grades? And he was like, didn't just call and ask, but threatened to pull business if we didn't. So I'm like, oh, wait a second. So there's these other things coming out. And then you go back and look at when he had that press conference and he started kind of attacking the media about getting criticized for wide receivers. And at the time, we thought that was kind of funny.
Sure.
I think we kind of liked him going like, we're winning football games. Like, what are you guys like really pissed off about?
Because it was like you thought this was gonna be a problem last year. And look, like they had a really good offense. It should be later tonight, hopefully.
And I think, he came in after McDermott. McDermott vouched for Brandon Beane. And I think with McDermott going and then him staying there and not going down with McDermott or making a case to keep him, that's kind of a shitty move, especially if you believe in McDermott. And I think also the other thing in the last 24 hours is the amount of support that's come out for Sean McDermott, and not just players who really liked him, right?
Sure.
And there's a ton of players like, what the hell just happened? I think people connected to the world of football are like, you're not going to find a better coach right now than Sean McDermott for this football team.
Sure.
You can criticize some of the shortcomings in the playoffs, but the amount I feel like I've learned in this last 48 hours, I'm like, they fucked up. They simply effed up. And it's not just, I think part of Brandon Beane's problem is he's trying to cover up for an owner who is not good. The
guy who owns the Sabres, not great.
Yeah. And we knew that. Bills have Josh Allen. So
I don't know.
Okay. And for the most part, it seemed like Pegula
Did not see
stayed
this.
away from, the Bills and let them kind of do their thing. And it's been okay. But Jesus God, if they don't find a perfect head coach, they are going to be so screwed. And they have scheduled an interview with Brian Daboll. Brian Daboll reportedly wants the head coaching job for the Bills. If he doesn't get it, he's expected to take the offensive coordinator role for the Titans, I believe is what I saw today. And to me, if you're Bills fans, like, I don't think you want Brian Daboll. I don't think you want Joe Brady. I think like if you're moving on from Sean McVay, you want something completely different, right? I could be wrong.
I mean, again, like you could look at like past experience and go like, okay, there was success there, but yeah, I don't know if it's like really getting you super excited.
Yeah, I feel for Bills fans. Like,
Do you have any of those clips from the?
Oh yeah, sorry.
No, you're good.
There's
Like I there's like a couple. I want to do the bad call one and then talking about Keon Coleman because I feel like those two.
Yeah.
All right. So this is when he's asked about Keon Coleman, right? And again, just to kind of give you some context, some background, right? One, as Perna just said, like there's already receipts coming out saying like, oh, Brandon Beane liked Keon Coleman, right? So this is just not true, it seems. But at the same time, usually what happens is like, depending on obviously like the leadership structure, is the GM is the one who's constructing this roster, right? They're the ones who are making the call on draft night. They're the ones talking to other GMs about trading and calling in for the picks. And sometimes you're going to have more of a, hey, you'll have the head coach and like GM making those picks together. You know, like you'll have sometimes like a Jerry Jones situation, like, well, they'll be very involved. Like the ownership will have a big say on like who they want to draft, etc. So this is when they are asked about Keon Coleman, who's had a season.
Yeah, I mean,
Can I interrupt? I'll address the Keon situation. The coaching staff pushed to draft Keon. I'm not saying Brandon wouldn't have drafted him, but he wasn't his next choice. That was Brandon being a team player and taking advice of his coaching staff, who felt strongly about the player. And, you know, he's taken, for some reason, heat over it and not saying a word about it. But
is he taking heat because he's the general manager?
General manager responsible for constructing the roster?
Also, that's not what you say there. You say, hey, look, Keon Coleman is a young player that we still believe in. He's developing. We're going to try and do everything we can to get the best out of Keon.
Excited for next season.
He hasn't hit the metrics, the stats that we want yet, but like we have confidence in that young man. If he, like, even if you are ready to trade him tomorrow, that's what you say. If you are any level of competence as an owner, like you never throw a fucking player under the bus like that for no. Do you think
who's
that
on the active roster, Brandon? This is not like, you know. So like we'll talk about the Baker Mayfield tweet because that's a whole thing too. Like that's a whole different thing. But that's the. Even if you're 100% on the nose, if you are trading Keon Coleman the day the new season starts, right? You are at least trying to get some trade capital back from him, right? Like you're trying to get some value back. You're going to be like, you know, he has a lot of athletic ability, blah, 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 blah. This is like, if you have because Bills fans, and rightfully so, have been so frustrated with Keon Coleman because they have been in desperate need for a wide receiver one, especially this season. They drafted him to be that guy. And this season being a healthy scratch because the not showing up to meetings or being late to meetings, like there's a lot of stuff happening off the field regardless. You still don't go, well, the coach that we just fired, he was really the one that wanted him. When Keon Coleman still has to lace up those cleats and go, oh my dude, like I can't imagine how he feels. And again, like Keon Coleman is not innocent in this situation, right? Like he's got to be responsible for his play and he's got to be responsible for his actions, showing up to be all that great stuff. But holy cow, man, this just seems like a heat of the moment. Like, let me just explain this in the worst way possible while throwing an active player under the bus, while also throwing Sean McDermott under the bus too, and being like, Brandon Beane did no wrong, which immediately social media was like, Brandon Beane actually liked this guy.
Yeah, it's unprofessional. And obviously, like NFL owners don't have a perfect track record of being professional. But
the
like,
bad call one.
Yeah, I'm gonna find the bad call.
The bad call one is so at this point, they are asked about why they can't get over like the playoff hump. You know, like what's stopping them from.
I did not fire a coach based on a bad officiating decision. If I can.
Hold on, it's not showing. Are you trying to show it?
No, I'm just trying to find it. There we go. There's a lot of clips out there.
There's a lot. I mean, it was a pretty bad press conference. Like this is not being overblown. There you go.
Here's the
13
first
seconds
part.
too.
Part 1. Yeah.
And led
Perfect.
to the group falling short of that.
I mean, Jay.
A bad call.
Yeah, I mean, Jay, I would say we went to Jacksonville and we won. A good team.
Bad call.
A
It's not a
bad
bad call
call.
either. Just to be clear, it's not a bad fucking call.
Oh my God. Yep. There you go.
Like,
Just got to unmute it. There you go.
I want to take you in the locker room after that game. I looked around. First thing I noticed was our quarterback with his head down, crying. I looked at all the other players. I looked at their faces and our coaches. I walked over to Josh. He didn't even acknowledge I was there.
gee, I wonder why.
Hold on, real quick, Brandon. Because we don't have the exact context, I have to imagine that Pegula was just doing this. I mean, Josh, I'm right here, Josh.
Talk to me, Josh.
Josh!
Look at me, Josh.
Look at me. Continue.
First thing I said to him, I said, that was a catch.
No, it fucking wasn't. Okay.
We all know what I'm talking about.
You mean the interception?
He didn't acknowledge me. He just sat there sobbing. He was listless. He had given everything he had to try to win that game. And looking around, so did all the other players on the team.
And then I followed Josh to the toilet and I watched him take a shit.
He didn't acknowledge
He
me,
still
though.
didn't know I was
He
looking at
didn't
him.
acknowledge me.
Dude.
Yeah, this
Oh my God.
it's bad, man. Like he talked about the firing of McDermott and that it wasn't because of a bad call. He went on this weird tirade about like power grabs
Yeah.
and just being like, I don't think Brandon Beane is trying to do that because if he did, he'd be out of here. Anybody who's trying to make a power play would be out. And I don't know if that's just, him owning the Sabres talking and he for confused sports. I don't know. But yeah, this does not give Bills fans a lot of confidence because unfortunately, as you have seen across the league, it's very easy to fire coaches. It's sometimes easy to fire GMs.
Yeah.
You can't get rid of your ownership. And when those are the folks who are making all those decisions, I just don't think this gives you that vote of confidence you want that the team is going to move forward and not have any issues. Because it's exactly what Brandon said. Like, you have to hire this head coach who likely is going to take about a year or so to get things in swing. We'll see what happens in the draft and all that great stuff. But yeah, man, this is a bad look. It would have been better if they just didn't do this press conference.
Yeah.
I'm rolling with Brandon too. I think he could pull off skinny jeans better.
Oh. Oh, look at that interception. Look at that uncontroversial interception. Like and I get there's Bills fans who will never see that play as not an intercept or as not a catch.
And
It's
I
a
also
coping mechanism, a defense mechanism. I get it.
I also understand the anger too, because they did move on very quickly. And this is something that we have talked about, like the level of transparency, like from the officiating crew is very low in the NFL. And that leads to more like, well, can I get an explanation? Especially when you have like commentators who are saying something, especially when you have analysts after that, like that makes a difference. Dalton, happy birthday. Hope you have a great day.
But it comes down to like, if Cook's there, he catches, he gets some sort of possession of the ball as he's going to the ground. I think just as a football fan, as somebody who respects the game, that guy's got to keep the football there. If you are trying to look at something in slow motion and determine in milliseconds how long he may have had possession there, that's like you're trying to view the game in a way that it's not actually played.
But also to blame
that one play when
I'm sorry. I love you, Josh Allen. But
yeah, it's like I get it. And if you don't ever want to see that as an interception, that's fine. That's fine.
But brother, you threw all those picks, man. Like you, even before halftime, like, you know what I mean? Like it's there. You had all those turnovers. Like, and again, I like Josh Allen. I think he's an excellent quarterback, but I don't know. It's just, this is like when, this is what you expect to see on Hard Knocks, but even most of the time you don't, because like the execs are at least more well reserved and are like, all right, you know, like we're not going to go and give these guys a ton of clips here and sound bites. But they had no issue doing that today. They did not. So yeah, that's
it's you know, and it's unfortunate because it does feel like Sean got fired for that game, and it's probably, you know, a culmination of all the playoff heartbreak. And I was working on the video yesterday. There was a interview on the Dan Patrick Show, and he was talking to somebody from Buffalo. I forget the guy that was there, but the guy said, and he works for the Bills. The guy said there have been so many heartbreaking losses that have happened in different and unique ways for Sean McDermott and the Bills in the playoffs that you almost have a different name for each one.
Yeah.
And I think that's the way, like, you look at their playoff failures, is it has not been like one thing, one glaring issue. Like, it is, they have lost in pretty dramatic ways. And from the 13 seconds game
diverse ways.
This last one, you know, against Denver, they go into overtime. They get a stop in overtime. So yeah, it's pretty brutal, and it's hard to find like the one thing that's gone wrong that you can say, if we just fix this, then we will have success next year.
But it's different every season, man, because the team's different, right? Like, so even like, let's just put it this: if RJ Harvey rushed for 150 yards on the Bills and had 2 touchdowns, you go, oh, well, this is a pretty glaring reason as to why they lost. But that did not happen, right? The reason they lost that football game is because they couldn't stop turning the ball over against the Broncos. Yeah. And the Broncos have very good defense, and not, you know, trying to take any credit away from them. But you go back and you're like, okay, the defense has been a problem at times, right? The 13 seconds game, like, good God, man, you gotta play defense. I don't know what to tell you. You know, like, the offense did its job and went down the field. It was super duper explosive, but it just feels like every time there's a different reason, and you can look at coaching for that. Right?
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
But at the same time, like, when you now look at what's left, then I don't know.
It's a bad situation right now. It's a bad situation, and this is not true. I know everybody wants to say that. Here's where my bias would happen. If the Kansas City Chiefs had intercepted Bo Nix in that situation, yes, I would blame the refs. I'd blame everybody. But it would be tongue-in-cheek. If I thought the Broncos got away with the play there against the Bills, I would happily say, hey, we got one on you. We got one on you. I'm sorry you guys got screwed, but we won the game. I 100% believe that's an interception. Mm-hmm. Like, I will be very objectively clear about my bias when need be.
I'll be able to analyze it afterwards.
If it were the Chiefs, yes, fuck them. Fuck them to eternity. If that happened against the Patriots when Tom Brady was the quarterback, fuck them to all hell.
There you go.
But no, I believe in 99.9% of all other situations, I would say, as a football fan, that's an interception.
That's a good question. I mean, I think Buccaneers fans have been wondering this a lot, especially with all these head coaching availabilities. I mean, they were going for McDaniel. The Buccaneers, that was coming out today, that McDaniel was really pursued by the Buccaneers to be their offensive coordinator. I think you're looking at a mix of injuries. I think you're looking at the fact that Todd Bowles and the Buccaneers won that last game against the Panthers, and it just came down to the Saints beating the Falcons. I don't agree with any of these things. And while I do think they do need a new offensive coordinator really bad, it just feels like things are stagnant with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And they don't even have the playoff like success to back it up. Right. Yeah. So that's a little bit of a problem, but this is a great transition to Baker Mayfield.
Yes.
Because the news that is coming on out,
Somehow this tweet also got community noted, which is
correct. It's 10 out of 10. So Kevin Stefanski, obviously, this was revealed this past weekend, is the new head coach of the Atlanta Falcons. There's some Falcons fans that are a little bit split on this. I honestly like this hiring. I think he's going to do a good job. I think Stefanski's a pretty solid coach. But this came out where it was saying Stefanski had a dumpster fire at quarterback in Cleveland. Baker Mayfield and Deshaun Watson failed, which started a chain reaction to 11 other starters. QB shooter Sanders closed out last season with 7 starts.
Yeah.
And so Baker Mayfield got himself on social media, right? And yes, it did get community noted, which is
okay. So this is a Falcons beat writer.
Correct.
This.
Which this is a great example of some beat writers who will be like, we're not even going to praise Kevin Stefanski. Instead, we are going to throw a whole bunch of crap and go, oh, this is the reason why Stefanski wasn't as successful. This is why Falcons fans should be excited. So instead of being like, here's what Stefanski was able to do with this squad, it was, nope, it wasn't his fault why they weren't for all these failures. It's on the QB play. So Baker Mayfield took offense to that and said, failed is quite the reach, pal. Already 10 out of 10, pulling out the pal.
All right, pal.
Still waiting on a text call from him, Stefanski, after I got shipped off like a piece of garbage. Can't wait to see you twice a year, coach.
Ooh. 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 Damn.
I have never been more excited for the Falcons and Buccaneers to play again.
Yeah,
that is going to be.
You got to give credit to the beat writer too. He's getting way more attention on this article he wrote than he had intended, and he was trying to get clicks and extra attention. And Baker, I would say Baker kind of took the bait here, but also kind of confirmed what we all knew, is that he was scapegoated. And we had questions of, okay, Baker plays through that injury. He did not play well, with that injury. Was that a general manager decision? Was that a Stefanski decision? Did they make it together? And Stefanski didn't even have the time to be a man and say, Baker, we've made a tough decision. Sorry, we're doing this. We're going into this direction. Dude, these fucking cowards out there. And Stefanski, if this is true, fucking coward, dude.
Yeah, dude. Just
absolute
you can't even
coward.
send a text of wishing you the best, man. Sorry it didn't work out. Which again, right? This calls back to the conversation you and I had a few weeks ago, because when we were talking about Deshaun Watson, we were talking about, all right, is that ownership? Is that the GM? Is it the head coaching scenario? And this is I don't know, because Baker getting run out of town, I think Stefanski also had a pretty big role in that. So it's just, and I don't think that this is reflective of the job that he's going to do in Atlanta. I can parcel this out, because I do still think he is a good coach. I think he's a good coach for Atlanta, a team that's looking to take that next step. We'll see what happens with Michael Penix. But I think this is an example of, you have a beat writer in Atlanta who's going, oh, all right, well, just because there are some fans who are not happy about this, let me just shovel some crap in the other direction that's not on Stefanski's plate to be like, this is why, he wasn't able to accomplish all things he wanted to do in Cleveland.
Yeah.
And then 2, Baker obviously feeling some type of way that the relationship with the Browns, the fact that it ended that way, and now one of the guys responsible for that is going to be in the same division. Yeah. I mean, because like you said, that beat writer is the one who's saying all that stuff. And I think it's Stefanski's silence that Baker's like, okay, well, you know what? I'm throwing you in there with it too, of all right, failure. Okay.
Yeah,
NFC South could be interesting.
Yeah, dude, this is the drama. It is NFL is like a soap opera right now. It is. Usually we have 1 or 2 of these things. It's 50 fucking things thrown in our face in the last 2 weeks. Yep. It's chill. Save some for March and February. Dear God.
Spiced meatball. Yeah, Miami Packers. That's the other thing. I haven't even had time to make a video about this, but yeah, the Packers need a new defensive coordinator because Jeff Hafley, and again, this is not a shock because he was one of the favorites either for the Titans job or for the Dolphins job. But after they already took our exec to make him their GM, they are taking Jeff Hafley to be the new head coach. And Dolphins fans have an interesting feeling about this because Jeff Hafley doesn't have any head coaching experience, right? And they're like, oh, okay, like, well, we need to go and win a playoff game. And I do think that once they have the Jeff Hafley press conference, like Dolphins fans are going to probably get on board because he can speak very, very well. And I do think he was running that NFL style defense when he was in college, and he did a pretty nice job with the Packers. And I do wish him well. It just sucks. Like we need to go find a defensive coordinator now, but Dolphins are trying.
Jeff Hafley's commitment to the flat top.
Yeah.
You know, it's a hairstyle you don't see committed to very, very often anymore.
It's kind of incredible.
Historically, it's got a great relationship with the game of football. Hafley looks like a head coach in the 80s. And I think that's okay for the Dolphins. And I did see Green Bay is interviewing one.
Hey, what's up, man? How you doing? Good. Shots, explosive.
Yeah, I know.
It's not a bad interview because obviously Gannon, nice defensive success with the Eagles.
But dude, the Eagles fans wanted him run out of town, and that was even after the Super Bowl. Like they were just like, no, like we're good, take care. And he did some wonky things with Arizona. Like obviously their defense wasn't fantastic, but he tried. So like, is it the worst? No. Does it get me super excited? Also no. That's gonna be something. That's
we deleted it.
So crispy
because we had 2 Gannon clips.
Yeah, it was fire in your gut.
What's up, Bird Gang? Well, we had 3: fire in your guts, what's up, Bird Gang, or whatever, and then sound effects.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Yeah, I don't think so. So we'll see what happens with the Packers defensive coordinator. But then the other news that came out with more drama is that literally 5 seconds after the 49ers lost in the divisional round, Robert Saleh signed a 5-year contract to be the new head coach of the Tennessee Titans. And the reason why that's so interesting is because Liam Cohen is also in that division, and they don't get along very well. And so, like, Liam Cohen, obviously, he got the Jacksonville Jaguars that head coaching job position. And Saleh was, like, one of the finalists for that as well. And Saleh apparently was really heartbroken after that. Saleh also said things about Liam Cohen, and, like, that was a whole thing. And, like, they had that whole on-the-field interaction after the game. And so the AFC South is also going to be very interesting next year.
Yeah, it's good. I like that these there's, like, some animosity out there again. It's like shit got too nice between teams. I want to know, like, these coaches hate each other's guts.
It's getting a little chummy out there.
Yeah, I want players to not like each other. It makes it more fun. It makes the losses hurt more. It makes the wins feel a little more important.
Hatred's great in a rivalry. That's it, man. Let's bring it
Ben
back.
Johnson to unshake everybody's hand next year.
That's what I'm saying. Like, Ben Johnson.
I want him to slap Matt LaFleur. Just give him a little, not a hard open hand slap, but the way that Vrabel did to Will Campbell in the locker room. Did you see that? It was weird. Like, he gave him a little slap on the face, and Campbell's like, "What the fuck you doing?"
Vrabel is the definition of, like, he is an old school guy, right?
Yeah.
And, like, this will be fine because they're winning. Yeah. But, like, the minute they don't, and, like, he's smacking a player, Campbell's gonna be like, "Oh no. So we'll see how that goes. Yeah, if you're Keon Coleman after seeing that, you're just like, I'm never showing up to a meeting again.
Yeah.
Or I will show up to a meeting, but I ain't catching diddly squat. Nothing. Yeah. Well, I mean, Jan, what do you mean? You don't want your owner in your star quarterback's face going, "That was a catch, Josh."
Yeah.
Josh, that
was a catch, I swear.
For some reason, I don't know why he didn't respond to that. I mean, that seemed like it was a good thing. Other coaching hires we mentioned. So Mike McDaniel going to the Chargers. So it's so funny just the way that this happened. Mike McDaniel called the Cleveland Browns and informed them that he was pulling out of the head coaching. And like just that headline was, it makes sense. Yep. Okay.
Yeah.
And also apparently that's coming out of the Lions because the Lions, they go and hire the Cardinals offensive coordinator, which if you've been tuning into Cardinals games, oh boy, Cardinals fans have wanted Drew out of there since, what was it, week 4? So that's a very interesting hire. But then there was like rumors coming out that McDaniel just wasn't a good fit with Detroit, which does not surprise me a ton. Just if we're just basing it off of personalities, like I could see that. But yeah, McDaniel, I think going to the Chargers makes that real interesting. Like him paired with Justin Herbert, you're going to have like Omari and Hampton back, a healthy offensive line. I'm really curious to see what McDaniel can do in LA. Like I think that could be a really cool pairing.
Yeah. So Drew Petzing going to the Lions, that doesn't get me excited. Doesn't mean it won't be a good fit, right? I think if you're a Lions fan and you're looking at that, look at what the Cardinals offense was with Jacoby Brissett.
Yeah.
I think that's a better gauge of what the Cardinals or what the Lions might be. And that was a pretty pass heavy offense. The running backs were all hurt.
They're all hurt. Yeah.
I think Arizona had more of a Kyler Murray problem there. So I think that it's tough to gauge. I'm just going to chalk that up as I really don't know.
And he's going to a place with a lot more weapons, right?
Exactly.
Like, in Detroit. So yeah, like, not going to just like fire.
Mike McDaniel not being a fit with the Lions. I understand the thought process there. But I think Mike McDaniel for that offense was a good fit. And I think you've got to get past some of your own, like, this is who we are. Like, let's bring in this guy and let's have an insane offense again. But for Justin Herbert, as a Broncos fan, there's one place I did not want to see Mike McDaniel calling plays, and that's in the AFC West.
Fair.
And going from Greg Roman to Mike McDaniel as a Justin Herbert NFL QB, if it does not work here, then Justin Herbert he has to accept he's just a cursed quarterback at that point. The run game's going to be better. The passing game's going to be more explosive.
Blocking's going to be better.
It's going to be so much better for Justin Herbert. And the whole, dude, like just the cherry on top, if you just want to go back a handful of years where the debate was, Tua or Herbert. And we're all pretty sure it's Herbert. We know Herbert's the better quarterback. And now Justin Herbert's getting the same head coach or the same play caller that Tua had that made Tua look his best. This is just an incredible hiring for the Chargers. Mm-hmm. And also talk about like we got the weirdest head coach in the league in Jim Harbaugh with one of the goofiest former head coaches, my favorite coach, Mike McDaniel. Oh my God.
The quotes alone may feed us for generations.
And, assuming the Broncos are not involved in the situation, I'm going to be rooting for Mike. I'll be rooting for Mike. I fucking love that guy. And I think the Chargers, they nailed this. And I think McDaniel interviewed everywhere.
Dude, he went on every interview.
Why? Because he wants to work with a really good quarterback. And apparently he chose them over both Philadelphia and Tampa Bay.
Yep.
So he didn't want to work with Jalen Hurts, and he didn't really want to work with, no offense, Baker Mayfield.
Well, I think you also just look at what this next season's going to look like, right? And it's exactly what we were talking about. Like, Joe Alt will be back. Rashawn Slater will be back, right? Like, Omari and Hampton will be healthy. Yeah. Vidal was so I just think that they're going to have those pieces. And when you look at Philadelphia, right, like Jalen Hurts, I think is a good quarterback. Saquon Barkley didn't have as much success this year. You look at the offensive line, and then you look at the Buccaneers. They dealt with a ton of injuries too, but they are also getting older, right? Yeah. Like Ibuka, or a Big Boo, right? Like, love him. Love him. But at the same time, it just feels like the at least short-term future for the Chargers, I think that they are in a very win-now situation, and they have the personnel on that offense to do so.
This was the Vrabel clip I was talking about.
Yeah. Because he waited outside of the tunnel for every single player.
Yeah.
Just Will Campbell. He's just like, right there. Oh, there you go. Yep. There's the Keon Coleman thing again. Just God, so good.
Yeah, I mean,
Can I interrupt?
Can I interrupt?
Yeah.
And then just continues to talk.
Can I interrupt? Keon Coleman sucks.
I hate that guy. Oh my God. Yeah, he literally, because Campbell just like, all right, that's a little interesting. Don't still believe it. So that one's an interesting one. How do you feel about Robert Saleh to the Titans? They gave him up that coaching hire seems to have happened very quickly. We were talking about Saleh potentially getting it. We talked about maybe going to Baltimore, right? Like going with the Ravens and stuff like that. But
I like it.
I'm curious about it because he's a good defensive coordinator. Like we know that. They need some offensive help. You know, I love Cam Ward, and I really hope that they just build a nice roster around him. You like this hiring?
Yeah, I think depending on who they're able to have as their offensive coordinator, right?
We talked about that.
I think
that's make a big difference.
We know what Robert Saleh's deficiency is, and it's the offense. But in terms of, I think Saleh navigated the New York Jets for 4 years, 3.5 years, however long it was.
Like a decade.
He navigated chaos, goes back to San Francisco, does a bang-up job coaching a banged-up defense. Boom. I think he's prepped for this situation, for this job. And I think the thing we've really learned about Robert Saleh is players like playing for him. And sure, that wasn't good enough in Buffalo, but right now, Tennessee, I think they'll have a strong leader. They've got defensive talent. Jeffrey Simmons had just an insane year. Like the defense is going to be better. He's kind of Vrabel-ish to me as a head coach. So
I can see that.
They're going to have the right offensive coordinator to come in and develop Cam Ward and that offense. And they're going to need some pieces added there. So
I am very curious because, again, I think that Saleh is a very good DC. I still think because of there's so many things that happened in New Jersey that it's very difficult to get a gauge of okay, how is he as a head coach, right? Like, yes, he navigated a bunch of chaos, right? But yeah, I don't know. I think that the results were not there, and you can blame a whole bunch of different pieces, right? Like you can blame ownership, you can construction of roster, Rodgers getting hurt, the whole 9 yards. But it's going to be interesting. I thought McCarthy would have been a nice pick for the Titans just because you have that experience and a little bit more of hey, I can bring a franchise back to its winning ways. And Saleh might do great in Tennessee. But I just think that unknown gives me a little bit of uncertainty.
Dude, he led the Jets to 7 wins with Zachy Wilson twice. I like it.
Yeah.
I don't hold the Aaron Rodgers era against Robert Saleh. I think we've seen the Jets defense get arguably worse since he left.
That's true.
Including that season where he was fired.
Sure.
So yeah, it's not a guarantee. Nothing's a guarantee. I would probably pick Robert Saleh over Mike McCarthy if I'm being honest. I think Robert Saleh is a better fit for Cam Ward too. I think Cam Ward's Saleh's. I think got a little bit of he's intense. Cam Ward we know he has that dog in him. I think him and Saleh a better pairing than him and McCarthy. McCarthy needs a quarterback who needs just a little more TLC. You know what I mean?
McCarthy also can develop a quarterback too.
Yeah, I'm saying I think Cam Ward better for more of a tough, intense coach.
Yeah,
Tua makes sense for a Mike McCarthy.
Big Jeff is going to be happy, right? We want to see that defense for the Titans then take a step too, because they're gonna have to add pieces to that offense. That's just in free agency, in the draft. They need some more threats. They need to have a consistent run game. They're gonna have to get offensive line help. All that being said, if Saleh can also make that defense take a step too, that's going to make a big difference just in terms of just having a more balanced approach to things.
Yeah. I think like I'm optimistic about Robert Saleh as a head coach the second time around.
Yeah.
And that's a really tough thing to evaluate. A lot of head coaches do get a second chance, right? I did not think it would work out for Josh McDaniels on his technically near third opportunity.
Yeah, third chance.
Yeah. Some guys are just like, you might just be better to be an OC. I think Robert Saleh is built to be a head coach. I think Mike McDaniel going to the Chargers, and if he turns that offense around, which I believe he's going to do, he'll get another chance to be a head coach. I don't know if Mike McDaniel is a head coach type guy. Mike McCarthy, he's a head coach. I don't know about Brian Daboll at this juncture. So that's a tough question. I think a lot of teams through this hiring process try and figure out.
Rays, I think it's going to depend on like the offensive coordinator situation. I think that is going to have a bigger impact on Michael Penix than Stefanski. Personally, we'll see what kind of offense they're going to be running, but I do think like, even if you are leaning on that run game, which you should, let's just be honest, it's like Robinson's one of the best running backs in the league. And you do have some like, I like Drake London a lot. We'll see what the hell happens with Kyle Pitts, but I think the Falcons are poised to do well as long as like Michael Penix is the guy. Their defense got better, right? They do have those weapons on offense, and now it's just about consistency.
Yeah.
And a lot of their issues last year was lack of consistency and coaching issues. So
yeah, it's like for the Falcons, like, is Stefanski better than your last head coach? I don't know. That's not a clear yes. That's 100% not a clear yes.
Raheem Morris, it just felt like that was another like one. It was like, okay. Then so what's interesting is that like Raheem Morris, like he's a guy that has ties with Matt LaFleur, and his name is being thrown in the conversation about being a defensive coordinator for the Packers, right? And I'm like, okay, like he went to the Rams, right? And they had a pretty solid defense, and then like the defense with the Falcons did get better. It doesn't like excite me a whole lot, but I like Raheem Morris a lot more as a DC than I do as a head coach. So I don't know, man. Oh, I got perfect timing. Yeah, he does. I mean, like they're talking to him. Again, if we could get Leonard, I'd be happy. They're also talking to Christian Parker from the Eagles. I like what they did in their secondary. I wouldn't mind that. It'll be, I think, a similar scheme to what we saw previously. But as long as Micah Parsons isn't playing CB1, I think they should be okay.
Raheem Morris would be a great defensive coordinator for the Packers.
He brings a lot of experience, and again, he's had solid defenses. I like
him
better
working for the Falcons late. It's their defense.
So
I think he got fired a year too early. Raheem Morris, personally. We'll see if I'm wrong with Stefanski, but I think that would be a solid one.
I think next,
and if Raheem Morris is a good defensive coordinator for the Packers, I think the benefit is he's probably secure in that job for a while, right?
I'd think so. Yeah, I mean, again, if
a young guy comes in and is really good, he's going to be at the top of the list for the next head coaching cycle.
I mean, listen, look at Jeff Hafley, man. I mean, Jeff Hafley literally came into the Packers 2 years ago and is already a head coach. I think, the thing that is different, I think, for the Packers this year is they are going to attract a bunch of candidates because of Micah Parsons. You have the ability to go to Green Bay to coach a once in a generational player. The Packers should have their pick of who they want to be DC. Again, Leonard almost became the Packers DC last time, right? He'll be a fan favorite, almost immediate. And again, I do like Parker and what he's done. Raheem Morris, I wouldn't be that's the worst. I think he's a solid DC. Jonathan Gannon, he's another one. I'm it's probably not my first choice, but okay, I can get around to it. But yeah, I think Parker, because I like what he's done with Philadelphia, and Leonard would be my top two. And next, that's the problem. Josh Allen, can he win an AFC Championship game? There's been a bunch of playoff games where he is not the problem, right? And he is not the reason why, because it's a team sport.
Yeah.
But this past Saturday, he was one of the largest problems on the field. But at the same time, they're only in this position because of James Cook and Josh Allen, right? I think they can, but we'll see what they do in the offseason.
Yeah, Josh Allen can definitely win it. Can he win it in Buffalo? I'm more uncertain than ever. Boy, oh boy, am I uncertain about Josh Allen's future in Buffalo.
Oh, I mean, this is only gonna get worse today. Like, this just happened early in the morning. Like, this Bills press conference, you're gonna be hearing about it all day. I mean, like, there's no one that is feeling good about it after that press conference. And I know that sounds like very dramatic, but man, like, this is not what you need after firing Sean McDermott, promoting Brandon Beane, and now having this be your immediate follow-up. Like, you need, as an owner and as like your GM and president of whatever the hell, was it player personnel? Like, you, or if I think it's football operations, there needs to be consistency in being like, oh yeah, no, like, we need to give the fan base and a whole lot of folks like that reassurance that we're going to steer the ship in the right direction. If you are firing Sean McDermott because you hit a lull in the playoffs and can't get over the hump, you need to be able to provide that confidence that you're going to get them over the hump, that you're going to hire the right guy. And if you are a head coaching candidate, Brandon, we talked about this on Monday. Where would you rather go, Buffalo or Baltimore?
Monday, I said Buffalo. You said Buffalo. Today, I'm saying Baltimore.
Like, again,
Omar's coming, Baltimore.
It's, I mean, holy cow. Like, this does not, because this is what you're going to have to deal with. Right? Like, this is the ownership model. This is the executives that you're going to have to deal with.
Yeah. And look, as someone who just talked to one Eric Wood over at Yahoo, I respect his opinion. And I think right now, people criticizing Terry Pegula for calling out Keon Coleman, it's not in defense of how Coleman's conducted himself there with the Bills. It's about being a professional owner and protecting your team and painting and not singling out one guy like this in a press conference that's not fucking about Keon Coleman. This whole thing is not about Keon Coleman.
And he did get the question asked to him, but yes.
Yeah, no, that's fine. They asked him about it, but it's, as an owner, you don't do that to a player.
True.
I think it's fucked up. It's the dumbest thing you can do as an owner. You can say, I don't think Sean McDermott did a good enough job coaching up a guy like Keon Coleman. That played into my decision to release Sean McDermott. Okay. Like, if you want to take that route, that's fine. And he interrupted his general manager, who I guarantee would have handled that question better than him.
Yeah.
So you butt in and interrupt your general manager. You throw a player under the bus. It doesn't mean that Keon Coleman isn't a bust. It doesn't mean that he has not handled being a professional correctly. You just don't do that as an owner. Like, which player's going to see that and go, you know what? I want to go play in that situation. None of them.
Yeah.
And this comes what? Less than 48 hours after we have seen current Bills pissed off Sean's gone. So, like, don't tell me it's okay to give Keon Coleman some tough love right now. That's not what this press conference is about.
No.
It's misguided.
It is. Kevin, like I was saying before, I would love Leonard. I like what he's done with the Broncos, right? And he's also your assistant head coach, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Who?
Jim Leonard. Because he's your passing game coordinator, right? But he's also
he's a passing game coordinator.
He's also your assistant head coach.
No, I think I don't think we have an assistant head coach. We've got Davis Webb. I know his title's weird too. What's Davis Webb? God damn it.
Jim Leonard is the defensive pass game coordinator and assistant head coach for the Denver Broncos.
Okay. There it is. Okay. Sure.
Anyway, so he was able to go from college.
Dude, being assistant head coach to Sean Payton that's.
Listen, we got Rich Bisaccia, so it's not going well.
I guess. And that's a title they give a guy to help him get that next job.
Correct.
That's what that title is.
The thing with Leonard, right? Obviously with the Wisconsin Badgers, he interviewed with the Packers before Hafley, and then he went to the NFL. And like, I think, dude, he's done a nice job. I mean, you look at Denver's defense, that looking pretty damn good. So, like, I like that experience. And then, like I said, I like what Parker has done in Philadelphia. So, I take either one of those.
Jim Leonard, like, he's a hot name right now. But if Vance Joseph gets a head coaching gig, My hope is that the Broncos are able to just elevate Jim Leonhard to their defensive coordinator, in addition to assistant head coach, and keep him. And I think like there's a chance of that because Walmart's got the money to be like, stay here, you get the promotion, you're going to get a big raise, and continue to guide this defense. I think it'll be easier transition if that happens versus the Broncos having to find a completely new defensive coordinator in a couple weeks. But if Vance goes, there's a chance Jim Leonhard goes with Vance Joseph and becomes his defensive coordinator. Sure. So there's a lot of
moving pieces.
Jim Leonhard's got to decide, do I go to a new team? And the Packers defense would be very appealing to go work with. Does that elevate my stock to be a head coach next? Right? Do I go with Vance? The familiarity there will work, together to coach up a defense. Or do I stay here in Denver and take a defense I already know that's got a ton of talent, probably make more money than any of those other positions,
sure,
and then take my next head coaching gig, next year or 2 years from then. So and there's so many opportunities right now. Like, they're not debating 5 different situations. These coordinators are there's 10. There's head coaching vacancies that are just getting filled where they need to hire coordinators. There's coordinators who have been promoted or fired that I've got options to go to. There's so much turnaround and shakeup.
Yeah, it's bad, man. I mean, it's crazy. We still don't know. Brian Daboll, right? He's interviewing there. We'll see what happens with the Ravens because I feel like a lot of their options that they were looking at, they have gotten already other jobs. So I'm very curious what Baltimore is going to do because I still think that is a hot destination to go.
The Ravens,
you know what? But there are 2 franchises which I'm very curious about. That is one, the Cleveland Browns, right? And who's going to take that job? But the other one where I've heard very little is the Arizona Cardinals. Yeah. The Arizona Cardinals, because they won 3 games last year. They don't. Who knows what they're doing at quarterback? Their ownership, not great either.
There's a good chance Vance Joseph ends up in Arizona. Poor guy. But
poor guy.
And look, we watched the Ravens owner, Steve Bisciotti to some, Biscotti to me. Listening to him talk, that's an owner I feel like you want to go play for.
That's very cool.
Right? Compared to Terry Pegula right now, you going to go coach for Terry or one too many guys lose Biscotti?
Biscotti's you have a 5-6 year runway. I just want to go and continue to retire and make my billions of dollars and just leave me alone. Go win me some championships so then I can sell the team. Right?
Yeah.
That's it. TNT, I don't know if that's for me or Perna. I'm going to assume it's for Perna. So Perna, there you go. I did not see the Gray Zabel, Leonard Williams. That's pretty damn cool though. Hell yeah. That's pretty cool. But hey, man, I mean, Gray Zabel was their guy and they made the right decision going out and getting him because their offensive line is so
very good. So, and Leonard Williams, another former Giant who got away, who's played great football for a different team.
You know who's really going to get a new head coaching gig, though?
There's some amazing guys on that staff. Coach Grossi, guy who puts all this time in.
Coach Grossi. Whatever happened to Coach Grossi?
We used the guy he had cancer, right? For the
Broncos. Oh, yeah, we went through this, didn't we?
Yeah, we literally did this but now he's the pass game specialist. Yeah.
Okay.
Zach Grossi.
Is he still for the Broncos? Is he assistant head coach as well?
No, he's not.
Is he assistant to the regional manager?
He is assistant to the regional manager. So, Maul, and that's the thing too. We are talking about how you shouldn't talk about Keon Coleman like this. Keon Coleman, as I said before, he has to take responsibility for his level of play and also showing up to freaking meetings, man. That's one of the easiest things to do. You're in the building hours early. You need to show up at 8:00, when the meetings are. At the same time, you want a player to get better. This is not how you do it, And
that
even if
I just fired, he wanted you.
Yeah, go play with Sean McDermott. That's it.
I fired Sean McDermott, and he did a lot for this organization. What do you think I'll do to you, Keon?
So if he was either alive, now he's dead, or he was dead, he was really dead. What else matters? what else matters? To walk through it. Everybody either puts a thumb up or thumb down.
Dude, Bills fans need to listen to a full Tebow sermon today to get right.
Yeah.
You guys just sit down, Google a Tebow sermon, just sit through it and let Tebow make you feel better about God and life.
That's what we're talking about. And he's like, I think it's going to be great. The rivalries are going to be so interesting this upcoming offseason.
Yeah.
It's going to be.
Brian Daboll might actually make the most sense for the Bills because he knows what he's getting into.
Very true. That's very, very true.
It might just be like, guys, I know what's going on there.
Yeah, because it's like, all right, been there before. I get it. But it's also like you talk about runways. Holy cow. Not only if you go to Buffalo to coach, like your runway is very, very small, right? It's limited because you're like, you want to win something within the next 2 to 3 years, but also like you're going to have to deal with that. And it doesn't, if there's one thing that I can take away from that press conference, there's a lot of things that I can take away. It doesn't look like Brandon Beane's going anywhere anytime soon.
No, he does not.
So even if you come in, right, and the Bills keep losing in the playoffs, I don't think they're going to be blaming Brandon Beane. If you have your ownership going in and going, well, no, I'm going to stand up for him and be like, no, it was all Sean McDermott. He's the one who wanted Keon Coleman. And you're basically just saying the only reason you lost is because it was a bad call. It's true. It doesn't look like, and he gets a promotion. It does not look like he is going anywhere.
Yeah. It's a weird problem. It's a unique problem to have when the issue for your team is being very good and just not being able to get to the Super Bowl. Mm-hmm. When you're in the playoffs every year, when you're winning at least one game in the playoffs every year, like that's just, it's tough. It's a tough problem to try and figure out because there's no one clear answer on how to solve it. And I do empathize with that being a tough situation and you have to make a tough decision.
Yeah.
It feels like they made the wrong one. They bet on the wrong guy.
Yeah.
Now, the right coach could come in, could change that quickly. But whoever they hire has got to win the trust of the locker room first, and they have to do that quickly.
Yeah.
And then they have to just let those other problems.
And that might be why Daboll's the guy there, right? Because it's like you said, he already has a familiarity.
Perna, is that too much of the same? That the girl who picks the helmets,
it was pretty great.
She wants to wear the burden of the curse. More power to her.
Perna's like the Lactus.
It's not a responsibility I wish upon anyone.
Exactly. It's like I need to pass
the head that wears the crown. And if that crown is curse-like.
So because obviously Tennessee hired Robert Saleh, Mike McCarthy has some interviews with the Pittsburgh Steelers, which
please God.
Steelers fans are like,
please give us Mike McCarthy in Pittsburgh.
He is gonna be the most Pittsburgh guy in the history of Pittsburgh. Like that Berg is gonna be coming out,
dude. Just like Russell Wilson going from my team to Tree's team to Adam's team. Give me Mike McCarthy going from your team to Scooter's team to Tree's team.
That's it.
There's like
the Dodgers will sign everyone.
Yeah.
Dodgers might give Kyler Murray a contract. Honestly, I'd call him up.
No, they would sign Josh Allen before they sign Kyler.
That's fair. That's fair. What do we know on special teams for Green Bay? That Rich Bisaccia is still employed. And I just can't. There's nuance. There's all this thing. For me, I'm done though. Personally, as Tom Grossi, I can't do it no more. I can't justify what he's getting paid. I can't justify him being an assistant head coach. I'm very happy that he's developed Dan Whelan. See, here's nuance, right? Dan Whelan, one of the best punters in the NFL right now. But the kicking situation's not great. They're ranked dead last in punt returns. I understand that they are not getting the roster to like go, hey, we need to fix this and have this be our gunner, this be our returner. But God, you can't pay this guy this much money and have the same results every single year, and it's not getting better. Because they're ranked 22nd in kick return. They're starting out on the 25 every single time it's not a touchback. Come on. At some point, who are we going to blame? You want to blame the roster? Well, fine, sure. But you got to blame. So, oh, God, I hate our special teams. I love you, Dan Whelan. You can never do anything wrong. I love you. I hope you're our punter forever. But Hey, there you
The
go.
Green Bay Packers announce they have extended Brandon McManus to be their kicker and named him interim special teams coach.
Yeah. Flores, I mean, dude, Minter, if they're Minter, I would really like in Baltimore. I'd really like him in Baltimore. God.
Brian Flores and
Flores, I don't
Buffalo
know
would
if
be
he's gonna
kind of
get that
funny.
gig. I don't know. I mean, I hope they take him away from the Vikings. It'd be nice. It would be very, very nice. Doug Williams' son's now being one of the coaches of Washington. Yeah, they're doing a lot of hiring like within and stuff, right? So, I mean, yeah. I mean, if you think you have the guys on the roster,
I have no opinion.
if you have the guys on the roster, like sometimes that could work out, and you give these guys a shot. But I don't know. Washington had a lot of issues this year. So I think theirs is they spent a lot of money on that defense, and that defense, it's old. So they're going to have to get some new pieces, and also Jaden Daniels is going to have to get healthy. And especially after you've seen like these emergence of these 2024 QBs, like, yeah, you need Jaden Daniels to get back to start. So honestly, I don't care if it comes from within. I don't care if it comes from outside. Just get it done. Just get it on done. I don't know, man. I don't know. Yeah, I understand, because that was a big problem too, like last year. Because like all these coaches, like Ben Johnson was a great example of that, right? Because they blow it in against the Commanders, and then like 5 minutes later, he's signing a deal with the Bears. And so Detroit fans were not happy about that, because like that's a very quick turnaround. Very quick. And I don't think I think you have Josh Allen, your window's open, but he can't do it all by himself. He can't. Congrats, squad. Congrats. So who knows, man? Who knows? The beatings will continue. Perna, what do you got coming out today, buddy?
Power rankings.
Hey, is
Power rankings.
Last one, right?
Yeah.
It's the last one?
Maybe. Who knows? We'll see.
You're going to do it for 2 teams next week?
Who knows? Well, I keep thinking I have something in my mustache, and it's just my gray beard, my gray hairs.
Makes you look sophisticated.
What do you got, Tom?
Here,
Tommy
Cam.
Boy? Tommy Cutlets? Tommy Bahama?
Yep. Before this,
figure?
Yep. Hey,
That's all I got.
I got it. Okay. Not Tommy Lee Jones, like
Tommy Lee Curtis?
Close. It was close.
Tommy
Used to be
Lee?
such a young lad.
I know.
We all got
I used
older.
to have youth.
We all got older. I recorded predictions before GPS, so that should be coming out like this afternoonish. I am still working on scripted. I wrote 10 pages yesterday. I got to write probably a couple more and then film it all and edit it. So I'm hoping that it comes out late tonight. I'm hoping that's the hope. It should be, as long as I can get all the things filmed. There's some choreography that I need to go through. So there's things. Danny boy. Steady time. But folks,
Danny boy.
we will be back on Friday to preview the AFC and NFC Championship games. Appreciate the hell out of you. We'll see you soon. I'm Tom Grossi. That's Brandon Perna. This is GPS. And you have been
Navigated.
And
actually, whoever loses on Sunday, one of those coaches has to be fired for this to continue. If Sean McDaniel loses, time to pull the Band-Aid off, Los Angeles. Sean Payton loses, inexcusable. I want one more coach to get fired.
Sean Payton.
If he's got to go, he's got to go.